everyone, I'm Em. Welcome back to TechBlock. Today we are back with the PC build. It is all done. Hope you enjoyed the montage there. Everything's working, surprisingly enough, and the two RTX cards are actually kind of being utilized. Now, I am fully aware that these cards do not support SLI or NVLink, anything like that. You should not do this. This is not a build guide by any means. Don't put two RTX 2060s in a build. It's just not a good idea. Just buy like a 2080 instead. Because I've got a lot of comments in part 1 just screaming at me saying, why the hell did you buy two RTX 2060s when you could buy one 2080? Well, yeah, that would be a much wiser choice to buy one 2080, as these cards don't support SLI or anything. So the reason I'm using two RTX 2060s is because NVIDIA sent both of them to me. I didn't buy these cards. NVIDIA sent me one of the RTX 2060s like a month or two ago, and then I ended up winning the other RTX 2060 from a giveaway. So I put both of them in this PC build, because why not? You may as well have two graphics cards other than one. I mean, I'm sure you can all agree the build looks a lot better with two cards instead of just one, right? So that's kind of the situation there, why there are two RTX 2060s in this build in the first place. That's the reason why. And I am actually kind of utilizing both of them in this build. So I've got Adobe Premiere open, and I've kind of been monitoring the usage of both of the cards for Adobe Premiere. Now, both of them are being utilized. The bottom card I've plugged in my middle monitor into, and then the upper card is controlling these two outer monitors here from ASUS. So that's the way it's all set up. I did try to use a single card for all three, but surprisingly enough, Adobe Premiere was actually lagging on a single RTX 2060. Now, all my videos are recorded in 1080p 60 FPS on a Canon G7X Mark II, and as I've edited all my videos on a Vega 64 card before this, there was never any performance issues on Adobe Premiere. Until I switched to one RTX 2060 for all three monitors, and as I scrolled through the timeline, Premiere started to lag for the first time in a long time, which was quite strange to me. So I plugged the middle monitor into the bottom card, and all the performance issues are now fixed. I've been playing a lot of Civilization 6 on like max settings, no performance issues whatsoever. The RTX 2060 handles it very well, and as for Adobe Premiere, it's doing good. The performance is good, no more lag as I scroll through the timeline or anything. It's just nice. So that's all good in terms of performance on Adobe Premiere and Civilization 6. One thing I do need to do though is download Battlefield 5 and actually test out some ray tracing. As you know, I have RTX cards. They're kind of made for ray tracing, but I believe ray tracing is now also available on GTX cards, at least some of them. There was some recent news from NVIDIA. I think a driver update added support for ray tracing for GTX models, which is quite interesting. Anyway, one thing I want to go over is the RGB lighting effects for this PC case, as well as this fancy remote right here, as this remote can do quite a lot. Not only can you control fan speed of your PC via a remote, you can also control the RGB effects, of course. And if you don't want to do that and you have an ASUS Aura Sync compatible motherboard, then you can open up the ASUS Aura Sync app on your PC and manually control the RGB lighting effects of your motherboard and all your other ASUS Aura Sync compatible devices, such as this PC case, as well as all of these GameMax fans inside of here. I've got a total of 5 fans in here, 1 exhaust, 2 intake, and then I guess 2 more exhaust fans on the radiator. And the airflow setup in this case, I'd have to say, is goddamn awful. We have 2 intake fans from the top, as that's kind of the only logical place for them, I suppose. We have an exhaust out the back, through the rear of the case, and then we have 2 fans blowing air onto the radiator here, and the air kind of comes out of the side, but it's just a really bad airflow setup, so I doubt the temperatures are that good. But what is cool, I guess, is this remote and the fact that we can control fan speed. So there is a button there called Fan Auto, which you can press, but you have to kind of really point the remote at the IR receiver, and the fans are now ramping up. You probably can't hear that on the video, but they've just ramped up. There's also a fan plus or minus button, which I can press and slow down or speed up the fans. And we have LED speed for the LED lighting effect here. So if I press this one, like I'll press it twice, you can probably just see there, the LED effects kind of slowed down, and we can slow them down even more to the point where they're really slow. We can also hold the RGB lighting effect, so we can go ahead and pause it in place. So as you can see, it's still kind of paused at the moment, and we can press hold again to resume. Well, the remote barely catches the signal half the time, but let's go ahead and speed this up again. So there we go, full speed RGB lighting effects. This PC case has like some crazy lighting effects as well through this remote. Like, look at these, all the fans in there. are going absolutely crazy. They're all like synced up perfectly, and you can of course sync it up to like your ASUS devices, but you have to do that through the ASUS AuraSync software. You can't really sync up the case fans as well as the case to ASUS AuraSync devices through this remote. You can only do that through ASUS AuraSync, if that kind of makes sense. And then if we press motherboard sync, we'll go back to the rainbow mode, which the ASUS AuraSync motherboard is currently on. So there we go, that's the lighting effect. There is kind of a problem though. We have the HyperX Predator RGB RAM in there, and unfortunately it doesn't really support many ASUS AuraSync lighting effects at all, which kind of sucks. And if I enable ASUS AuraSync, for some reason only 2 of the RAM sticks light up instead of all 4. So I think I might have to like reorder the RAM, you know, reseat it a few times, and hopefully that'll resolve the issue. But the ASUS AuraSync compatibility with the HyperX RAM is very bad. So if you want like ASUS AuraSync compatible RAM, probably avoid these, as unfortunately these just aren't really that good for ASUS AuraSync. But it is good RAM. I'll give them that, and it looks real good. It's just a shame that it doesn't support lighting effects that are very advanced, and it is kind of buggy, unfortunately. But yeah, that's kind of the PC build over here. It's all good. I'm very happy with it. I think just having 2 cards in there just looks so sick. I've never had 2 video cards in a system before, so it's all kind of new to me. And unfortunately, these don't support SLI. I wish they did. That would be a whole lot more fun, as we would have, you know, actual big performance gains in some titles. Assuming that SLI works with those titles. But yeah, that's kind of the state of the PC build at the moment. I do have some plans though. I will be doing some stuff with V1 Tech, so I'm going to be ordering some custom parts pretty soon from their website. Maybe some LED strips, but I'm not really sure where I'd put them in this case, as we're kind of like really cramped inside here. I can't really put an SSD on display without it kind of looking out of place or anything. So I think maybe in part 3 we might actually swap the case, or I might do a separate series where we just build an entirely different rig with like a different case pretty soon, as I do want to test out that Thermaltake power supply in more detail, as it does have RGB. It has a bunch of like really good features. This build is almost completely done. Like there's not too much I can do in this case. We're kind of really restricted by space up in here. So that's kind of a shame, and the airflow is very, very bad. But apart from that, this case, in my opinion, looks really, really nice. For the price, you get a nice tempered glass side panel. You get all of this here, and just the RGB lighting effects, the syncing process of the motherboard, and everything is just flawless in my opinion. It looks really good. Anyway, that's kind of it for this video, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to go check out any of these parts, the case, all the components that I used to build this thing, all the links are down below in the description as always. But yeah, apart from that, everyone, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you in another video soon. Goodbye.